Hi, I'm Dr. Randall Bell. This is Dr. Elizabeth Lombardo. Dr. E, good to see you.
Good to be here.
We're here to talk about some important stuff with Core IQ. Core IQ, of course, are things that we need to know, but we're often not taught in school. Things like negotiation, goal setting, time management. And today we have a life skill. Let's get right into it.
Yeah, let's get into it.
Okay, the respect model.
Yeah.
Help us out.
Respect, right? We all need some respect. So the whole concept is, how can you communicate with someone else in a way that they can hear and that you feel heard?
Okay.
Okay. And there are two kind of variables we want to look at. One is respecting yourself.
Okay.
Clearly communicating what your wants and needs are, but also respecting the other person so that they feel respected and they can more easily hear you.
Okay. I get that.
So we'll start with being passive. Being passive is when you keep quiet. You don't say anything. You want to say something, but you don't because you're afraid of the other person's reaction. Maybe they're going to get upset. Maybe they're going to get angry with you. Maybe there's going to be some kind of retribution, like if it's your boss, you're going to get fired. So you stuff it.
Okay. So that's kind of the green zone where you're respecting others by being quiet, but you're not respecting yourself. And so you're kind of sitting there kind of just taking it, being a punching bag.
Taking a punching bag or stewing, right?
Oh,
This
okay.
is when a lot of stress happens. It's the proverbial steam coming out of your ears. You weren't saying anything. And again, yes, you're respecting the other person because you don't want to hurt their feelings, but it's not respectful to yourself because we all have the right to clearly communicate our wants and needs.
Okay, so that's the green zone, respecting others while not respecting yourself, not a good thing. So what's this red zone?
Not
all
always
about?
helpful.
Not
you know, there are, I'll just reword that. There are times when keeping quiet is important. We're not suggesting that you point out everyone's wrongness.
Okay.
Oh, you messed up there, and look, you did that, and look how bad you are there. So you want to pick and choose, but when we're being passive, it's causing us stress by not communicating.
Okay, I get it. And we're going to call this not being helpful.
Not being helpful.
I
It's
see
not
how
bad
that's
or good. It's not being helpful.
That's a better way to put it. Okay, I like that.
It's a more helpful way to put it.
Okay, so this red zone, aggressive, is also not very helpful.
Also not very helpful.
Tell me about that.
So sometimes people will stuff and stuff and stuff and keep it in for so long that it comes out. This is when we yell, when we scream, maybe when we say something that's not kind to someone else because we're so frustrated that they aren't listening to us, that they aren't meeting our needs.
Okay, got it.
And so in this way, we're respecting yourself because you're communicating what you want, but you're not being very respectful to the other person.
Okay.
And the reason why that's not necessarily very helpful is, one, you aren't being respectful to the other person, which isn't always great.
Right.
But the other thing is the other person, when you're being aggressive towards them, it's very hard to actually hear what you're saying because they're feeling like they're being attacked.
Okay.
And it's human nature when we're feeling like we're being attacked to protect ourselves as opposed to listen.
Okay, fair enough. So passive and then aggressive, I guess that leads us to the blue box, which is passive aggressive.
Passive aggressive. So passive aggressive is what I would say the least helpful of them all. You're not respecting yourself and you're not respecting the other person.
Okay.
You're making kind of jabbing comments. It must be nice to always be late.
Okay.
Or it must be nice to come home from work and sit down and not help out with the dishes. Or when you're driving, think about aggressive drivers who, they get in front of you, but if passive aggressive would be to get in front of someone and then slow down. So you're not clearly communicating your wants and needs, and you're doing it in a pretty disrespectful way to the other person.
Okay, so when I think of passive aggressive, I think of where you should be saying something, but you're not. And I think of, where I hear the word fine.
Fine.
Just like fine.
It's fine.
Yeah.
I'm fine.
And you can tell they're not fine.
They're not fine. That's passive aggressive.
Okay.
Yeah. How are you today? Fine. That's the last thing that they are, but yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we've figured out where that fine word. In my family, when someone says they're fine, I say, fine is the enemy of good. We want to do good here, not just be fine.
Yes.
But I guess kind of related to this a little bit. So passive aggressive, you're not respecting yourself.
Right, because you aren't communicating. If you're really not fine, what's going on?
Right.
It's upsetting me that you are blank, but we'll get to that because that's the yellow box.
Oh, we'll get to the good stuff.
Coming.
We're saving the good stuff for last. But you're not respecting yourself. You're not respecting others. Passive aggressive.
Right.
You came up with this model, right?
I did. Yes.
I saw this for the first time a couple days ago, and I thought, this is so cool. This is such a great, useful tool.
So I work a lot with leaders and a lot of female leaders. And a lot of times they say they want to be assertive, but they don't want to come off as being not nice. I won't say the word. But
not helpful.
but you know what I mean? 'Cause they don't want to come off being seen as being this person.
Yeah.
What they're really saying is, I don't want to be aggressive.
Okay.
I want to be assertive. But they didn't have that language. And so that's why I developed this, to kind of say, hey, here's the deal. You can clearly communicate your wants and needs in a way that's still respectful.
Okay.
Which brings us to, drum roll, assertive.
Assertive. Yeah, assertive. So that's the good box.
Yes.
So
that's the helpful box.
Green, blue, red, not helpful.
Not helpful.
Yellow, helpful.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I can even get that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So assertive, give us an example of assertive. Like a good example.
Yeah. So let's say you're at a restaurant.
Okay.
And the waiter brings you, or the waitress brings you a meal and it's burned, it's gross.
Okay.
Okay. Passive would be stewing. I just wanted to eat this really good meal, but I'm not going to say anything because I don't want to upset them.
Okay.
Aggression would be like, what the heck is this?
Okay.
Passive aggressive would be like, I don't know, seriously, you're serving me this meal?
Okay.
Assertive would be like, hey, you know what? This is kind of burned. Can you take it back and have the chef make me another one?
Just nicely, matter of fact.
Nicely, clearly communicating your wants and needs, but you're doing it in a respectful way.
But you're not being a jerk.
You're not being
You're
a
not
jerk.
stewing on it, and you're not saying something this is kind of snarky, right?
It is. That's a great way to say it.
Okay.
Yes, yeah.
But here you're just kind of like, hey, I'm sorry, but this needs some help.
Yeah.
Can we try this again?
Exactly.
Okay.
And we feel so much more empowered when we can be assertive.
Right.
Because we don't stew in all these things that we think people should be doing. We're clearly communicating our wants and needs.
Okay, totally get that. So, we met on the Today Show
We
when we
did?
had that segment, and then after, I remember we had a really great talk out at the Rockefeller Center.
Yeah, we went walking for a bit.
And what made me think was Rockefeller himself was at the time probably the richest guy in the world. And a reporter came to him once and said, hey, what is the most valuable skill you look for in all your employees? Because he's building this empire. And the reporters thought it was going to be some like a really tough attorney that sued people, or a really tough negotiator, something like that. And Rockefeller surprised the reporter and everyone when he said, you know what? What I look for as the most valuable skill of any employee is the ability to get along with other people.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? And this struck me as a really practical tool to do that,
Right.
to really kind of get along with other people.
Yeah.
Do I got that? Do I have that
Absolutely.
right?
And I would say that skill is still very important.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. Now, the thing is that we want to remember is sometimes people are passive when they try to get along with people because they're the people pleasers.
Right.
I don't want to say anything. And that lasts for a little bit.
Okay.
But eventually, a lot of times that aggression comes out.
Okay.
Because it bottles up inside of you. So to get along with other people, it's really important that you not only listen to them, their wants and needs, but you also clearly communicate your own.
It's interesting you say that, because I think I mentioned to you, I volunteer at the San Quentin prison.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the inmates there say, you know what, I was kind of in this very dysfunctional family. A lot of the backstories to their crimes are really heartbreaking. I was really in this dysfunctional family, and the pressure kept boiling up.
Yes.
Something triggered, I got really aggressive,
Yes.
and now I'm in prison for the rest of my life. So exactly what you're saying, and then they regret it.
Of course they
big time.
do. Yes, yes.
And it wrecks a lot of lives. So, this is real stuff we're talking about. So let me ask you this. Let's say someone watching is in high school.
Mm-hmm.
So give us an example, run through this model in kind of the context of someone in high school.
Okay, so let's say you're in high school and you don't do so well in your math exam, which sometimes happens in high school, right? And you're concerned of how your parents are going to react.
Okay.
So you go home and you don't say anything. You're not going to say anything because you don't want them to get upset, and you got something this weekend and you don't want to get grounded for it.
Right.
And then they ask, or the teacher calls and informs them of your grade, and then you might lash out. I studied so hard. I worked so hard on that. And you get angry at your parents.
Okay.
Okay. You may get passive aggressive. If only you had helped me study.
Okay. Got it.
But really,
I've heard that.
Actually, yeah. Really, the best thing to do is to be assertive and to say, hey, Mom, Dad, here's what happened. I didn't do as well as I wanted to on my math test. And here's what I'm going to do to rectify it. Here's what I'm going to do to make it better. Whether it's this test, I'm going to go in and talk to the teacher. I'm going to study harder. I'm going to get online and get some great resources. Here's how I'm going to solve that problem. So it really is a state of empowerment. Instead of being stuck in this passive or this angry place, you're saying, okay, I'm clearly communicating not only what I did, but then you can be assertive in terms of your next steps.
Okay. I totally get that. So let me throw another scenario at you. You're the expert. Let's say you're down the street is a homeless shelter, and I've done some volunteer stuff there, and you're talking to people that are in a really tough place. I mean, very serious, but to their credit, they want to get better.
Sure.
They want to do better. They want to get back on their feet. So run through a scenario where someone's in that really bad place.
Yeah. So let's say you're in a bad place and you have a family member or a friend who might be able to help you out. Okay. So a passive would be, well, they should reach out. Why aren't they reaching out to me? And kind of stewing in resentment of they're doing okay, I'm not. Why aren't they helping me out?
But you don't say anything about it.
You don't say anything.
Got it. Okay.
Aggressive would be when you see them and you yell at them or you get very angry with
Okay.
them. I'm in a bad place. You're not helping me out.
Right. You know, and I'd be when I've been there, the police have been called because someone, lashes out in that department.
Right.
Okay, I get it.
And, I do want to say when we get more stressed, we tend to be more aggressive.
Okay.
So it's not that bad people are aggressive. We all get aggressive sometimes.
Right.
And when you're going through something like that, what a huge state of stress. So it's understandable, but it doesn't have to happen.
I get it.
Yeah. So that would be aggressive. Passive aggressive might be if you see your family member who's maybe driving a new car and the comment is, wow, nice car.
Yeah.
Right? Thinking, instead of the $30,000 you put into that, you kind of giving me some to help me get on my feet.
I got you.
Assertive would be clearly communicating your wants and needs. I'm in a tough place right now. Maybe even I've been in a tough place for a while, or I've gotten better and I've come back to this. Clearly communicating that and then saying, here's what I would love. I'd love a loan.
Okay.
Or your friend has a shop, downtown. Could you talk to him and see if there's a place where I could get a job?
Okay.
So clearly communicating what you want.
Totally get it. Okay, so let me throw another one at you.
Okay.
I don't know if I told you this, but I actually earned money to go to college by washing windows in downtown LA. So when you looked up on those skyscrapers and there's those guys hanging off the side.
All the way up the top?
Yes.
Oh my God,
yes.
I would never do that. I'm sweating just thinking of that.
The crazy thing is I earned a whopping $1.35 an hour extra to have my life on the line hanging outside. If you worked on the inside where it's safe, you earned $1.35 less. And so I was anxious to go to college. Anyway, what I'm getting at.
What's a life? Yeah, okay.
At that time, it wasn't worth much. So anyway, I look through the windows and I see these guys working at these nice desks and they had all the credentials and diplomas on the wall, and I thought, life must be so great inside there. I'm going to go to college and I'm going to be one of those executives kind of thing. And you think everything, they have this all figured out.
Yeah.
At least that's what I thought, looking from the outside in. And I did go to college. I did get one of those kind of jobs. And you find out that a lot of this stuff still applies.
They never had the class either, yeah.
So talking to the executive, someone at the top of the game, the top of the food chain, the super achiever, give us a scenario on this.
Sure. So let's say there's a big project that comes up unexpectedly.
Okay.
And maybe it's even at 5 o'clock, and you have to have something for your client the next day.
Okay.
Okay. So passive would be they should just stay. They should stay and help me out, but not saying anything. Probably stewing in it. Passive aggressive would be, you shouldn't be leaving. Not you shouldn't be leaving now, but must be nice to be able to leave on time. I'm going to be here all night.
Okay.
That would be passive aggressive.
Got it.
Aggressive would be yelling, "What are you doing leaving?"
Yeah.
Or even something more,
just
unkind.
being a jerk.
Yeah. This is basically being a jerk. Yes.
Okay.
And then assertive would be, "Hey, I know you want to go home. I want to go home too. Here's the deal. We just got this from the client. We got to get it taken care of. Here's what I'd love for you to do. X, Y, and Z."
I totally get that. So this is a skill, and that's what Core IQ is all about, are skills that we all need. We don't, often learn in school.
Right.
This is a skill from the prisons, the homeless shelters, from high school to the top executive offices.
Sure.
This applies to everyone.
Everyone.
I got to just say, Dr. E, this is brilliant. And I got to just say thanks. Core IQ, like it, share it, but these are the skills we got to know in life. Thanks for watching.